Gentlemen of the GFL, I've clearly demonstrated that I have nothing better going on in my day-to-day than carrying this here grape. George, you've known to love him.
Sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows. Everything that's wonderful is what I feel when we're together. Brighter than a lucky penny when you're near. The rain goes, disappears, dear, and I feel so fine just to know that you are mine.
It comes with a decision from speaking with my family, my coaching staff around me at the Mulligans. We are going to eat George, boys. Yeah. This right here, this is Kevin. He's a little bit squishy, but to be quite frank with you, so am I.
My life is sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows. That's how this refrain goes. So come on, join in. Everybody, sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows. Everything that's wonderful is sure to come your way when you're in love to stay.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Ball and Chain, week 4 of the Generic Fantasy League. Brian, the season just keeps getting better and better.
I think we maybe had the most exciting slate of games last week in week 3. I mean, so many of these games were determined by just the most shocking outcomes. And I don't know about you, Cooper, but I was reading all about it on Tuesday.
Oh my goodness, as was I, but why don't you kick us off?
I would love to. The first headline I have here, right big across the top, one big word, 4 big letters, mole.
Bruh.
Mole? Am I talking about the rodent? No.
Don't.
Am I talking about the thing on your face and my face and everybody's face? No.
Don't do it.
I'm talking about, this is Webster's Dictionary, a spy who achieves over a long period an important position within the security defenses of the company. I don't even think that's right. That's what I have written down. I don't even think that's
probably
correct.
An AI overview answer there.
Yeah, absolutely. We have 2 moles here in the GFL. One of them is yours. Your mole. You're telling me Ramondre Stevenson fumbles the game away, loses his job, and gets Kyle 4 points? Against you, and you win by single digits? Are you kidding me? I'm not done. As you know, we have another mole.
Bruh.
Same situation. You know, you guys might have gotten away with it if you didn't do it in the same week. It was too much of a
Caden and I
pattern.
have never been involved in any collusion.
Oh,
in the
how'd you even?
past,
I
nor
didn't
are
even
we
say
now.
Caden. I didn't even say Caden. Yeah, that's guilty. Wandale Robinson, he sucked on purpose this week. He's actually really good.
People that have heart, the Ramondres, the Wandales of the world that know who they are at their core, you got to respect it.
Sure, fine. To each their own.
Brian, in my Tuesday morning paper, you'll appreciate this one, going to being an alumni of where you are. Sig Alpha Vent draws 12 fans.
Does it really?
Every year in beautiful Ann Arbor, Michigan, Sigma Alpha Epsilon hosts the beloved Mud Bowl. You're familiar. You've been.
Yes, I am.
This is also what I'm coining Matt and Caden's matchup this week is the Michigan Mud Bowl as the 2 lowest scoring teams of the week, 98 and 93 points. Indiana Jones couldn't save Matt, nor could Caden's recently acquired Emeka Ibuka. Both teams now 1 and 2, both in free fall a little bit.
I don't know. It's good to see a roll go Caden's way, but Matt has yet to score over 100 points. Can we do something about this? Next up, headline, home cooking. A lot of similar themes here. 2 very different dishes served.
Oh, no.
Listen, you know what people in Minnesota are famous for. Gumbo. I would have loved to taste the gumbo that Logan's Viking family made for him this weekend. What did he get? Almost 50 points from the Vikings defense and kicker? Are you kidding me?
Ridiculous.
CD didn't even play. He beat him with 8 guys. CD gave him a big 0. On the flip side, I think John was served a bad Coney dog. The Ravens game. Amon Ra and Jake Bates leave him a less than a point short of beating me. Are you
game
kidding
of
me?
Margins.
One of the biggest sweats I've ever had in the GFL.
I think it would have been unfair for John to get the satisfaction of being at that game, watching the Lions beat the Ravens, and beating you in fantasy this week. So just a bit of cosmic equilibrium. Brian, you talked last week about a potential name change to this show. You ran through a few different examples. I've got one that I would like to change it to that I think just suits the league at large.
Sure.
No more ball and chain. We're going to be tooth and nail.
Tooth and nail. Ooh.
We have never had a closer standings 3 weeks into the season than we do in the GFL right now.
Oh, yeah.
There is no team that is undefeated, nor a team that has yet to win for the first time in our league's history.
Yeah.
Your matchup of the week with John was decided by less than 1 point. It's just been, it's crazy. You've got people at the top who have some of the lowest points for. You have John at 1 and 2 with the most points for on the season. Everyone is coming out to play, and I'm really excited to see how the rest of the season shakes out. You couldn't have written the script any better.
You could have. And we did. And I'm shocked how it's playing out still. Crazy.
Do you have any more headlines for us?
No, that's it. That's all I've got.
Okay. Oh, Brian, do I have an exciting segment for you?
Yeah, Little Birdie told me you cooked up something real nice for this.
Last week, I talked about how 2 weeks into the season, 2 data points can make a line, but it's far too early to do anything with that information. 3 weeks into the season, though, I am more than happy to come in an overly confident fashion with the emphatic draft rankings of the season thus far. I'm going to break this down for you, okay?
Break it down for me.
There's 3 real questions we're trying to answer here. The long debated, does draft order matter? From that, who had the strongest draft? And then with those drafts, who is over or underperforming on the season thus far?
Sure.
How do you determine the strength of a draft, right? You could look at every single player. You could look at the first round pick. You could look at points for a few weeks into the season. I think there's really 3 ways to look at this here.
Look at this.
You've got points for. The argument there is clear. You got to score points to win.
Oh, sure.
You can look at the standings. Ultimately, we are a head-to-head league, and that's what gets you into the playoffs or not. Lastly, and this is what I would like to introduce as the correct answer, is
PV.
Positional variance.
PV.
There is a reason why nobody drafts a quarterback at the 1-1. What I've done, I have plotted these 3 metrics against our draft order. First one here, points for. No, see that trend line? That thing's flat. That means there is no correlation. The R-squared value here is a big ol' goose egg. I don't think this is the way to look at it. I'm sure John would disagree with that most points for in the league so far, but he's 1 and 2, you know?
He is.
So I think there's
Loser.
better things to look at here. If you do the standings,
Ooh, maybe not.
different order, certainly. Jimmy, first in the league right now. Who would have thought?
What the hell is
Logan second. You've got myself with the lowest points for sitting at 6th. But again, that trend line, big old goose egg for the R-squared there. Absolutely zero correlation.
that? One angle.
So I would like to break down what I've done to determine positional variance and then reveal the rankings and the standings from this positional variance metric. You good with that?
Yeah, I think I'm okay with that.
Positional variance.
Is this the coaching metric? What am I looking at here?
No. This is the positional variance metric.
Oh my god.
Positional variance is defined as the average points per game. So that part on the left. This is the sum of your first 3 round picks compared to their average points per game, compared to the average points per game of their position's bench threshold.
Sure.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Positional bench threshold here is the lowest start-worthy player's average points per game by position.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you took a quarterback and a tight end in the first three rounds.
I sure did.
Just because Josh Allen is getting more points than someone else drafted in the second at running back doesn't mean he should be rated higher simply by having more points. He should be rated compared to other quarterbacks, right?
Yeah.
So in order to determine that position bench threshold, I have taken what would be the last starting spot on a roster by position. So that's the wide receiver and running back 30. You have 2 per start, plus 6 if you split the flex between running backs and wide receivers.
Very
And then
nice.
there's only one quarterback, there's only one tight end. So it's the quarterback and tight end 12, respectively. These are who those 4 players are for the league. You've got Tet averaging just under 12 points per game. Bijan picture is incorrect here. Apologies.
I was going to say, there's no way.
I liked the face you had there, though.
Okay. You got me.
This is
You got
even
me.
better because it would be a little bit of a spoiler to reveal the true answer there, which I'll get to in just a moment. But
Oh my God.
the running back 30 on the year is averaging 9.2 points per game. Aaron Rodgers, in fact, that quarterback 12 with just under 16 points.
That's insane.
And
That's
then
crazy.
Harold Fannin Jr. at just under 10 for the tight end position.
Good for Matt.
Following so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm here.
I'm going to give an example here of your team, actually, in
Oh my
the
God.
first round. You drafted Bijan, 20.1 average points per game, compared to the positional bench threshold that is, in fact, Chase Brown
Yeah.
at the running back 30 with 9.2. So for the first round, you have a positive 10.9 positional variance.
It's pretty good, man. Sucks for John.
That gets added to your second round pick with Josh Allen.
Mhm.
His positional variance, that gets added to your third round pick with Trey McBride to get that total sum where N is 1 through 3.
Oh, I'm following.
Yep. When you compile all of these numbers, you get something that looks a little bit like this.
Wow, look at this.
What I've got here is the teams ranked by that sum of their three positional variances for that far right column of total positional variance. This is the average points per game these 3 players are scoring compared to that bench threshold for their respective positions.
Mm-hmm.
The position rankings column I think is interesting, albeit not the full story. This is if you have the running back 5, the quarterback 2, and the tight end
Top
4,
three.
I believe.
Something like that.
So
yeah.
a total of 11 as those positional rankings summed up. So a low number is good in that case.
I think that tells most of the story. That sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah. Brian, a few very interesting things I've found out when doing this analysis about who we picked in each round. Round 1, that average positional variance is nearly 7 points, meaning on average, your first round pick is scoring 7 points more than the positional bench threshold.
Sure.
Very interestingly, going back to determining the best draft order spot, picks 6 through 9 are currently the highest performing in round 1, all averaging over 20 points per game. Second round, you get a bit of a drop in just how beneficial those players are to your team. 4.4 points per game above that positional threshold. Fascinating, the second round receivers are currently averaging less than the positional threshold. So that's
crazy.
going to be
Yep.
Tyreek, A.J. Brown, Drake London, all under all under the positional average. So really underperforming receivers in the second round.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then third round here, not that big of a drop between the second and third rounds. Still 4 positive points per game for these picks. I did, given this is where there is the most range in what was picked, all 4 positions were picked in the fourth round. In fact, the running backs and the quarterbacks being the 2 best picks in round 3 thus far, followed by the tight ends, followed by wide receivers. So really, there's been a lot of low late round picks in the wide receiver position that are high performing, and a lot of those early round picks a little bit underperforming thus far.
Oh, yeah, I could see that. JSN's probably doing a lot of work for John there.
Yeah.
I'm a fat fuck. Yeah, that's wet. Here. Fat.
This, I think, is the emphatic, correct way to look at the draft ranking, is the first 3 rounds. In order to validate this, I've charted them. You can see here, it's the first time the trend line isn't flat.
Oh my God,
we
there's
have
an
a
angle.
correlation between draft order and the strength of those first 3 round picks. I think largely because the first 3 rounds are much more well-known guys. You don't need weeks and weeks of research to try and find the Bills and the Ray Davises and the I can't even go on with that joke.
Sure.
The sleepers. We have a positive R-squared value for the first time of these 3 metrics, albeit it's small. About 10% of this is being factored. About 10% of this is accounted for by the model and by this metric. But it is far better than points for or standings as a way to look at draft strength.
Yeah, come on, Matt. Get on board with the trend here.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
I'm fired up. So last thing I want to do here is look at outliers, right? Who is underperforming or overperforming compared to that positional variance draft rank? So got to break this down for a sec. In instances where a team has that pink dot greater than, so a higher number, meaning a lower ranking, right? Because 1 is the goal here. The lower, the better.
Sure.
That pink dot is lower than the blue dot. Apologies. That pink dot is higher than the blue dot. Myself, for example, right last in positional variance draft ranking, 6th in the standings. These are teams overperforming expectations. Are they flukes or do they have deeper rosters? I think is the question you have to ask yourself. We'll get to it in just a second. The other way around, when that pink dot is below the blue dot, yours is marginal, right? It's a 1 position difference.
Marginal.
Talented stars. You did well in the positional variance ranking. Are these top-heavy teams or just unlucky matchups? I think John would make the argument for the latter. I think a Kyle maybe is a case where it's a top-heavy team. To make this graph a little bit more visually obvious, I have charted the differences between that positional variance draft ranking and the standings.
I see.
For their relative ranking. So green is where the standings are higher than the positional variance draft ranking. Red is the inverse, right? So if I can try and interpret this graph, then I would love to hear your thoughts on this or anything I've mentioned thus far.
Few things
Looking at the ones in green thus far, Logan, I think the Vikings defense and kicker is accounting for the vast majority of this, where his team is outperforming what his positional variance draft ranking was.
Yes.
Will, we all agreed on draft day, he had a well-balanced and relatively consistent team. So I think it shows that while the first 3 picks weren't the strongest thing in the world, he has the back end to cover it up. And for myself, I mean, it's a miracle to be 2-1. I'm not going to try and fool anybody here with the lowest points for in the league.
Look at the 6. Wow.
Yeah. On the other side of it, Brett, James Cook needs some help. He can't do it alone.
He's being carried. Yeah.
John has a target on his back. I don't know why he didn't expect this coming into the season. When you are the reigning champ, people are going to play their best football against you. That's going to be the defining moment of their season if they can get a win over you.
Yeah, that's true. But this is why he's matchup of the week. Like this is just what we do here.
Yeah. Last call out here, both Jimmy and Caden ranked exactly where they deserve to be. Unfortunately for Caden, for him, that's 11th. And thankfully for Jimmy, that's first. First in both standings and the positional variance draft ranking.
Don't let Jimmy hear that. He cannot have that power. Oh my God.
I hope it goes to his head and he crashes and burns. Love you though, Jimmy.
Wow.
There you have it. Positional variance. It is the new stat to look at. It's going to be on ESPN. It's going to be on Sleeper. It's going to be on Yahoo by next season, I am sure. This is what people need to be looking at when they're determining their draft orders.
Yeah, it's going to be on Ball and Chain is where it's going to be.
It started here.
God.
It always does.
Ridiculous. Will this be factored into the coaching metric? Most likely. Most likely. Just more tremendous. This is why we keep the chain on board. This is why your payroll is so high. It's because this is the analytical edge that you give this show that ESPN and other shows just do not have. I mentioned it earlier. Matchup of the week. We have a good one this week. Against 2 guys who were on that graph, believe it or not.
Wow.
Wow. It's Brett and Ross. We got two teams who are just on the precipice of falling off. Cooper, do you want to kick off on this one?
Yeah, both of them being 1 and 2, I think both of us had them ranked fairly high in our draft rankings. Obviously, we didn't have the information we do now. Zach Charbonnet in the starting lineup with a questionable designation. Don't love it. Trading for Brian Thomas Jr., I don't know what he saw there. Ultimately, I got to give this one to Brett. Current rankings, 121 to 117 is the projection. I think we've had some low-scoring matchups throughout the season thus far, and not a bunch of blowouts. I think this is going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be 125 to 105.
Horrendous news coming out of last week. James Conner, he is done. That's just, it's hard to see. Tough when you're playing Matt this week and he's got Trey Benson. You can just plug him right in there. His wide receivers got to get back on track. Oh my God, Tyreek and Justin Jefferson. Can you guys remember how to play football? Can you do something here? Ferg will explode this week without CD. It's going to be Ferg time. Absolutely. Also, Ross, speaking to you through the screen here, I know you're not going to see it till probably Saturday. You need to play Trevion Henderson this week. You cannot play Sharp, and I think he's going to. So we'll see about that. Yeah, I think Brett just finds a way to win this game. I think we got another gritty one out here, 115 to 109.
I like it. I like it. We shall see.
We shall. But now, something we shall see is our bonus segment. That's right. Cooper, for those of you that can't tell, this is a morning episode. We're recording in the morning. B&C mornings is not going to be a thing that we're going to be airing on this show too often. However,
I love it.
Ridiculous. However, Cooper, I do want to keep it morning themed. If you will quietly to yourself just choose a breakfast food.
Done?
Yeah. All right. We're going to ask each other questions in succession and try to figure out what the person's breakfast food is. I do have mine right here, and I think I'd like to go first.
Okay.
Cooper, is your breakfast food a leader? Is he a leader of men?
I think that's too subjective of a question. And if I answer it honestly, you're going to be upset with my answer.
Answer it honestly. I know who you are.
No. Brian, is your breakfast food, does it have a potato in it?
No. Cooper, does your food play on the offensive line?
What are these questions? Yeah. I would argue my breakfast food is the offensive line. Would you have been happy to see this breakfast food on your plate as a 6-year-old?
That's a great question, actually. I think he would have been eaten. He would not be the first thing I looked at. Cooper, is your breakfast food, does he have character issues?
Character issues?
Yeah.
No, he knows.
Does he have a troubled past? He knows who he is?
Both of those can be true. You can have a troubled past and have that define you.
Well, does it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Does your breakfast food have protein in it?
No, he does not. I feel that we are zeroing in on something here. Is your breakfast food flaky in nature?
Define flaky.
Do you put it in an oven at any point?
No. I think I know where this line of questioning is coming from, and I'm going to say no.
Sure.
To be fair to the game.
Sure.
Brian, would you pour syrup on your breakfast food?
No, I don't think you would.
No,
I don't think you would.
No.
I don't think you would, actually. I actually don't think you would. Wow. Is your food bready in nature?
Bready in nature. No.
Wow. Okay, I'm way off. Go.
I'm way off.
Continue.
Is yours a type of cereal?
Wow. We're not even. No. Is yours? He is the offensive line. Do you have grits? Is it grits?
It's not grits, but that's a great guess. Is yours served cold?
I would be upset if it was cold.
Okay.
Does your food have a lot of starch content?
Yeah.
Interesting. All right.
Could you get this from a fast food drive-thru?
No, I don't think so. Is yours a home fries or hash browns?
No. What? Would you consider yours a southern delicacy?
I think I might. Is it a vegetable?
No.
Oh, okay. Go on.
Is yours a biscuit?
It is a biscuit. Yes, it is a biscuit. Oh, my goodness. I did go first, so I do not get a chance to rebuttal. Cooper, what was it?
Corned beef hash.
What? Oh, get the hell out of here. That's damn near a flag, although I should have known that. Whatever. All right. Thank you all for joining us in this another episode of Ball and Chain. Week 4. Is somebody going to separate themselves from the pack? Probably not. Cooper, any thoughts here?
I think someone's gonna drop off the end of the pack. We shall see who it is.
Loser of our matchup of the week very well may.
1 and 3, tough to claw back from.
Very tough. Alrighty. Thank you all for joining us. We'll see you next week.
Ball and chain out. If you'll give me a couple minutes, I just want to give each team a little bit of a shout out to some interesting insights about their first 3 picks.
Sure.
I'll go down the list here. Jimmy, really, CMC was people were scared to take him, and we're early in the season still, but thus far, that best first round pick, averaging over 14 points per game above the bench threshold. Brian, you were the only guy not to take a wide receiver and a running back in the first 3 rounds. And thus far, it's paying off, right? You have the lowest positional total. You also have the highest floor, meaning the lowest positional value of your 3 guys. 4.1 points for Trey McBride is the lowest of that set of 3 for any of the managers.
That's exactly what I was thinking coming in.
Yeah. The data supports your decisions there. Chris, Jonathan Taylor being the running back 1 on the season so far massively inflates his positional variance. Ladd being off to a bit of a slower start than anticipated, bringing that down a bit as he's in the negatives. John, like I said on our matchup of the week last week, needs to establish a running game. He has his 2 receivers he picked in the first 3 rounds are both in the top 5 in their position. But then you've got Chase Brown at the running back 30, just a fat goose egg for his positional variance, keeping him out of the top 3, keeping him off the podium in these rankings.
Doing? Yeah, come on, Chase.
Logan, the CD injury here is certainly pulling him down with that 0 points in week 3. Lamar accounts for 67% of Logan's total positional variance. So great pickup there thus far in the 3rd round with Lamar. Not to be outdone, James Cook is accounting for 84% of Brett's positional variance.
Yeah.
Both Justin Jefferson and Tyreek are barely startable. 0.8 and 1.4 positional variance, respectively.
Who would have thunk?
Yeah, crazy. Ross, heavily impacted here by A.J. Brown having a very slow week 1 and 2. Did he turn it around in week 3, and will he be able to keep that momentum? We shall see.
We shall.
Kyle, these are big ifs, but if not for Monday Night Football with Neighbors putting up, 3 points and
Crazy.
Jaden Daniels' injury, I think he'd be the clear number 1 in this positional variance ranking. We all said on draft day that Auto drafted a great job with his starting lineup and a very poor job with his bench and some of those flex players.
True.
Will has both the highest and lowest receiver for positional variance of the first 3 rounds in Puka and T. Higgins.
Come on, T.
T is the worst pick of the first 3 rounds thus far at a -4 point per game positional variance.
He's actually hurting you. Wow.
Yeah. Last 3 here, apologies. Matt, modest performances across all 3, but that 1-1 curse is striking again with Jamar Chase just not living up to expectations.
Look at Jamar, man.
Caden, not the start he had hoped for, certainly. He is trending up. His week 3 positional variance was the best of the 3 weeks thus far in the season. You'll note here I have Brian Thomas Jr. and Emeka Ibuka. I have swapped that player in for the 3rd week because he made that trade with Ross.
Sure.
And last, at the bottom of the barrel here, Kenneth Walker is the only positive positional variance of my first 3 picks. The other 2 are the worst picks of their respective rounds between Ashton Genty and Drake London.
Oh my God. Wow. You should have done all this data before the draft.
So I don't want anyone to say that I'm coming here with biased information or only showing favorable stats. I am dead last in this, 93 as the total positional rankings.
Wow.
Those 3 players across my starting lineup are giving me an extra 2 points per week compared to what is the cutoff for a bench player.
Wow. I mean, you got to play him.
You got to play him.
You have to play him.
So